co-founder and co-author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Steve Moore joins us now to discuss a little bit of a miracle today, Steve, but a miracle by design. And I know that you were one of the ones in the camp that said we should have seen the tax cuts first and the tariffs later. Didn't exactly work that way. I personally think now that this is played out, that the tariff chaos that it caused was meant to sort of drive those tax cuts, and it looks like it's working. How do you feel about things as they're unfolding?
No, it was a great day. I mean, this is the biggest point increase in the Dow Jones in American history. So how can I stop from smiling? It's not over. I mean, these are the first skirmishes, and these terrorist debates will go on for perhaps many, many more months. But look, Trump is just a shrewd negotiator. And you're right, I'm not the biggest fan of these tariffs, and the president knows that. And but I do believe in his ability to get a good deal for the United States, and I think that's exactly how this is going to turn out. The other kind of interesting dynamic that's going on here, I think what Trump is trying to do, and if he is, I think he's exactly right. And you just alluded to this. He's trying to isolate the worst actor in the world, which is China. They are our enemy. They are like Japan circa 1937. And we need to isolate China, and we need to have our allies in Europe and Japan and Mexico and Canada all teaming up against China. We will find out, in my opinion, whether or not who our real allies are in the course of the next few weeks and months.
Steve, just react to what was going on in the Treasury market, because that certainly had to play into this decision of it's always about the why now. It was the sell-off in the last 3 days, the lockup overnight, and particularly in the 30-year, but the 10-year, the yield or the interest that we pay and that Americans pay on, say, a mortgage was soaring unexpectedly. And the 10-year yield still wound up on the day, so the treasuries fell. It was up in one day. That had to play into the decision of why to pause now, because that couldn't continue. Selling in treasuries and skyrocketing yields.
Well, Dagan, you're 100% right. And when I saw that chart this morning and I saw how high those rates had gone up on the 10-year Treasury, I was getting very nervous. And it actually fell a little bit today as the stock market was going up, and that's a good sign. And that means people were getting into buying stock and not selling these treasuries. I think some of this was engineered by China and Russia and other of our enemies trying to sell these treasuries so that it would drive up the interest rate, so that it would put Trump in a tough position. But he turned the tables on him. I mean, I have to say, and I hope to see that. Well, it's important for people to realize when those interest rates go up. As you know, you've reported on this, Dagan, one of our biggest expenditures in the entire federal budget is interest payments. So if the interest rates go up, we have to pay more on a $32, $33, $34 trillion debt. So I think we're going to start to see those rates come back down to a more normal level.
And I only bring it up because that's the market that matters the most to the American people.
Yeah, and Trump had been calling for lower rates from day one.
By the way, there is one other rate that matters a lot to people. That's the 30-year mortgage rate, and that had been affected a little bit as well.
Well, that was priced off the 10-year Treasury, but
that's true. You're right. You're right about that.
Jackie has a question.
Before we let you go, we always are talking about financial advice, and generally we're going to say don't take economic tips from the ladies on The View. Why, you ask? This is Exhibit A. Watch this.
He wants to stoke such instability and chaos to consolidate power for himself so that people start to really go nuts. Then he can say, well, there's too much chaos and now we're going to have martial law in this country, and he becomes a dictator.
This was all about Trump paving the way to become a dictator, Steve.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to make a confession. I watch your lady's show, but I do not watch The View. So I had no idea what a moron that woman is, Joy, whatever her name is. She doesn't even know what the stock market is, apparently.
Right. What's it called?
But listen, I hate this idea that somehow, there's this And I hear Republicans and Democrats saying, oh, you know, it's Wall Street versus Main Street. No, it's not. We're all in this boat together. We have the vast majority of American households own stock as they should. We're a nation of owners, and it's good for everybody when we have a strong stock market, and I think it's going to come back. And remember, when Trump was president in his first term for 4 years, the NASDAQ was up 150%, the S&P 500 was up 75%, and the Dow was up 60%. This is a guy who puts value at American companies. It's that simple.
Steve Moore, great to see you. Yes, he roots for the success of the American people. That's why he's doing all of this. As do you, my friend. Thank you, sir.